is Nonkululeko Mkhize. I'm the founder and CEO of NHM Wellnet. It is a business that provides employee wellness services to companies and the public at large. So basically what we do is provide counseling where we are able to go to the sites where the employer or the employee is located. We are able to provide counseling during working hours. Our services are not only limited to counseling, we also offer training to supervisors. We also offer wellness days and as well as health and mental health services. Some of the achievements was I started working with a reputable company, which is BMW SMG. I think that was a great achievement, taking into consideration how I started the business from very humble beginnings. So I think that was a great opportunity for me or for the business to actually enter the corporate space. I started my business as basically I was employed as a social worker. Then I realized that I wanted to be independent. So I started as a private practice where basically in an office, you wait for clients to come in. And then I realized that I also have a passion for employee wellness services rather, or employee assistance services. That's where I started. I did a qualification in that particular field, and then I started approaching companies where I was saying I'm able to offer the same service but now on site. Instead of you coming to me, I'll be able to come to you. Let's offer the service on site. It saves you time where the employee is not required to come to me, and as well as it's much more efficient because I'm able to come there and provide the service. So that's basically how we started, from just a practice where I realized that we needed to scale and provide the business at a much larger scale with the corporate sector. I was mainly motivated by my passion of working with people. Secondly, my daughter. She's the reason I wake up. She's the reason I have late nights. But other than that, I was also motivated by the fact that where I was employed, from all the companies and the NGOs I've worked with, there was never a professional on-site where I could just go and speak to. I had to either take time off work, or I just had to swallow whatever I was going through at that time. So I was just motivated by being able to provide the service to employees, where I know exactly that not all companies provide that service. So I was mainly motivated to just start with small businesses who I know they can't afford the large companies who provide such services. So I just said to myself, let me start and let's see what happens. I was self-driven. I think I still am. I'm not sure if that's a good thing all the time, but I'm very ambitious and I'm very self-driven. So it is something that comes from what I love doing on a daily basis. Challenges I've experienced, I mean, it's been a very difficult journey trying to enter the corporate space, especially with the kind of work I do, which is most of the time perceived as work that should be done in a private or a personal space. So now bringing that into the workplace where I'm basically asking employees to be vulnerable during working hours. So I think that was the most challenge, and also being able to approach companies where the EAP is still a fairly new field in South Africa. So it's quite difficult for some employees to sort of invest in the department. So it's been a challenge where you constantly have to make sure you explain why you want to provide these services to them. These kind of services are not just for employees' well-being, but it also assists with their productivity and ultimately profit, because when they're productive and they're emotionally stable, we know they're productive, and when you're productive, we know they're going to do the work the way it should be done. And yeah, so basically that's still a challenge, because again, the companies that provide the work that I do, I'm on a much larger scale, so I'm just a small drop in the ocean. So, but yeah, we're getting there. One of my future goals, I'm not sure if this is big enough, this is too big for me, but I've never seen something like a wellness clinic in South Africa where it incorporates the services of mental health, spirituality, finances, and health in one setting, where when you go into a facility, you are able to just book once and receive all of those services in one go. So I've never seen something like that, and that is one of, again, my passions, something that drives me, where I'm able to provide services that are in the wellness space, but be able to sort of provide it in a one-stop center. So that is my biggest goal, maybe too big, but that's my biggest goal, and that I really, really am working towards too. Wellness, as you just said, it's holistic. It's not a one thing. You can't just say, okay, today I'm going to see a therapist and then I'm okay. Because all our problems or our situations that we go through are always interlinked. So there's always going to be some complex situation that you're going through, and after a therapist, you might need to see a doctor. After seeing a doctor, you might need to see a financial advisor. After that, you might need to see someone for your spiritual being. Not in a religious sense where we're saying we're just offering services to a particular religion, but spiritually as beings. We all know we are spiritual beings. So it's very difficult for someone to go from one place to the next. That is why my biggest dream is to have one of these clinics where we offer the holistic service, where we speak of holistic wellness. We look at individuals as holistic human beings who are a whole and not just servicing parts of the whole. Advice that I'd give to young women who would want to start or who would want to follow my path would be, you would be scared, but do it anyway. You just have to start. You just have to start somewhere. When I started, it was a mammoth task. I was looking at the kind of companies that provide the service that I wanted to provide, and it almost seemed impossible. It was like something that was never going to happen. And I pictured myself in a boardroom having to negotiate why you should take the service. It automatically, my heart would just feel the pressure. But that's why I'm saying, young people out there, just start. You would do it scared. Yes, you will be scared, but just do it anyway. One of the impacts I've made in my field of influence is firstly recognizing that mental health is not in all fields of employment. So one of the main fields that I've sat down and looked at is the sports and recreation field, where in my community we'd have so many soccer clubs, we'd have so many, be it tennis clubs, but none of them receive any of those services. So what we've done is offered those services to these young people who aspire one day to remain in the field of sports. So we've offered these services so that when they enter sports in a workplace form, they're able to actually have access to services. So one of the challenges that we've experienced is that because it's a foreign concept in sports and entertainment, mainly because sports and entertainment are not regarded as corporate. So it's been difficult trying to provide those services, but in my community, yes, I do work with soccer teams around my community where I offer these services to these youngsters, where we're saying your mental health is important, and it's not just mental health, but you are holistic beings. So it's very important that you are able to receive services regarding your wellness as a whole. In my community, predominantly a Black community, mental health or counseling or a therapist or therapy basically is still presumed as taboo. So you are labeled as weak, you are labeled as someone who cannot deal with their own issues, failing to understand that there's so much more to mental health, there's so much more to wellness than just someone who is not okay at that particular point. So spreading the word out there, providing awareness about mental health, not necessarily just counseling, but we also provide awareness about counseling, about mental health rather, as a whole, and about wellness as a whole, so that people understand what we talk about when we say it is important as a human being to receive services of holistic wellness. So what I do to relax and unwind in my own time is mainly listening to podcasts. I'm a listener. I'm a social worker by profession, so listening is just part of me. But listening to different podcasts, it makes me to relax. I used to enjoy going to the gym, aerobics in particular, but after my daughter, I have a toddler, so she basically gives me a workout at home. So, but I also enjoy relaxing, watching TV, reading a book. Watching beats outside and just relaxing and watching the nature. So I'm a very simple person. To relax, it doesn't really take much for me to relax. I just need to be in a zone where I'm in peace with myself at that particular time. What it means for me to be part of KZN Top Business is that I'm granted an opportunity to be able to showcase my business and showcase my passion in the form of a business. So that means that I'm able to put myself out there and for other people, again, to learn from my journey, for other people to know that they can start even when they're scared. They can start even when the time is not right for them, even when it's not convenient. But it's important to start. And especially for my fellow professions in the mental health sector, I know we rely too much on jobs, but just to give them that assurance that you can provide such services in the corporate sector and you can scale your services into a business.